All right, lots of guys ask me, can you grow your legs without doing squats and deadlifts? And the answer is, of course you can. There have been a lot of famous bodybuilders who have great legs who didn't squat at all. My coach, Dorian Yates, he stopped squatting very early in his career because of an injury. Frank Zane, I don't think Phil Heath does any squats. So yes, you can grow your legs without doing squats. So today, I'm going to focus on exercises that won't hurt your back, that'll keep your knees safe, and it won't bother your hips. And yet you can still get a lot of size and a lot of strength out of these motions. We're going to focus on your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, your adductors, and your TFL, because you want a complete exercise balance with your upper legs. I'm going to do a calf video later on. So, as I said before, Dorian Yates is my coach, and he had great legs, and so I follow what I learn, and if you just trust the process, it really does work. The first exercise we're going to do as our warm-up exercise is leg extension. Now, the important thing to remember about that is make sure that you have the seat properly adjusted, and right now I need to move this seat up. But when you do this motion, you want a full range of motion from the bottom all the way to the top and down. So why do I use the leg extension as a warm-up? Because it really does do a good job of warming up your knees. Also, you don't want this so far back that it's really going to stretch out that suprapatellar tendon. This is about the right angle that you want it. So when you do your first 2 sets, if you can't do a lot of weight, then we're going to do this as a tempo set. So for this first set of 12, here is how I would run it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, pause, 2, down, 2. This is called a 2, 2, 2, 0 tempo. And if your knees can't tolerate the weight, then using time under tension with a tempo workout is a great way to go. So obviously I'll use a longer tempo on my first set, a shorter tempo on my second set, and on my third and heaviest set, I'll just come up, I'll hold it best I can, and all the way back down, do a dead stop. Hold it, all the way stop, do a dead down. Another option you can use, and I've talked about this before, is using a toes in for your first set, and you really put your mind right there on that outer head of your quadricep, your vastus lateralis. On your second set, come out with your toes out, and just really put your mind's focus on squeezing that vastus medius. And on your last set, as you come up, I really put my mind's focus here right on the rectus femoris, and I just picture and I squeeze that at the very top of the motion. Here is an example of a first set that is tempoed. I'm trying to get a 2-second hold, 1, 2, and 2 all the way down to the bottom. And man alive, does this really start to burn. All right, this is the leg press. This is a Life Fitness version. I like this one just a little bit better than the Arsenal over there, but I still use both equally. I'm primarily working on my glute and ham strength and developing thickness in my legs this way. So the position that I'm going to use first is called a high narrow stance. That will put most of the focus on my hamstrings and on my glutes. And it's going to take the pressure off of my sore knees. So this is a fantastic way to build up your glute strength and your hamstrings and work on your outer sweep. So since this is my first set of 4, this is going to be more of a tempoed set. I'm going to do a set of 15. I'm not going to video all of it, but I have my feet way up here. I feel like my toes can curl over, and I'm going to come back as far as I can, and as soon as I feel my butt starting to raise up, that's when I know it's the end of the motion. So as I proceed with the set, I'll get a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper. So let's get started. 1, 2, 1, 2, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is the hack squat. This is a great machine to use if you have a back issue from squatting, you know, something in the outside of your hips, or you have, you know, really wonky knees. By keeping your feet high up on the platform, you can take the pressure off this part of your knee by using your glute and your hams instead. So this is an exercise you want to do in hypertrophy range. This is not a powerlifting exercise. So if you want to put some size on your legs, this is a good exercise to do it. Now, if you know you're going to have load issues with your knees, keep the weight light and use a tempo workout. Your stance is slightly wider than your hips, and I'm going to do a 3-second descent and just power on up, ass to grass, just like a regular squat. And no, you don't need a weight belt to use this, but I just like to have mine on. So press my shoulders fully up against the back. 1, 2, 3, up. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. If you have been enjoying this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really makes a difference with the algorithm. And I'm also on Instagram at Masters Muscle. If you have access to a pendulum squat, I highly recommend you use that. And you could use this in place of a hack squat. You can really work your quadriceps, your glutes, your hams. This is a really quality piece of equipment, and it feels like the next best thing to squatting, and it takes all the pressure off your back. And once again, you can use lightweight on this and use tempo. I swear that is harder on my heart than it is on my leg. When you work your hamstrings, chances are that's not going to bother your knees. But let's say you're a little worried about it, so here's a lying leg curl, and I'm going to show you a way that you can use it. You can use less weight and get more out of it. And I'm going to use a technique called a double pull. So I'm going to pull, this is my leg and my feet, I'm going to pull it halfway, almost to the apex part. I'm going to stop, pull, let it all the way go down. Stop, pull, go all the way down. This is going to take all the momentum out of it, and I'm also going to have my toes out wide to use another part of my hamstring. So here we go. That really puts a lot of time under tension. It won't bother your knees at all. You can lighten your load. And also, if you have a hamstring issue and you're worried about pulling a hamstring, go light. Use a double pull technique and it will be successful every time. So I am not known for massive legs, and my outer sweep really sucks. So it is really important that I work on my adductors, because it's all a matter of illusion. So I really want to work these adductors so my legs look larger when I'm on stage and I am posing. So the exercise that I am going to do is hip adduction. All right, I'm here on a Cybex hip adduction machine, and I really like this particular machine. I feel like it works my adductors really well. And so when I'm working these guys, you can't go too heavy because then you really can't control it. So I usually do like 3 sets of 15, and by the time I'm at number 10, it really burns. So if you go too light, you really don't get enough. And if you go too heavy, you can't control it and you might pull your groin, and you don't want to do that. So here's the technique that I use. I have this thing stretched out as wide as it'll go. So I want to come out, relax a little bit, let it stretch my hip. Then squeeze and control it on the way down. Squeeze, control it on the way down. And each time I let it out here, I am trying to let my hip relax more so my hip opens up just a little bit more. Squeeze. Oh, squeeze. Oh. And if you do this right and you're hydrated, you're gonna get a really good pump. There we go. If your knees are bothering you, here's a good alternate exercise. This is hip abduction, and this is a particularly good machine. So if you are having trouble squatting or doing a leg press or hack squat that is quad centric because of your knees, but you still want to be able to work your glutes, then this is an excellent exercise to do. So make sure that you push it down and control it on the way up. I'm doing a set of 15 and it will burn by number 10. There we go. You know, people ask, is there a secret to getting big legs? And it's really doing the right type of exercises, getting enough volume, but not too much volume, getting rest, eating consistently, eating the right amounts of food. Sleep is so important, and keeping the stress level down is really important. And you just have to trust the process. And part of it is your genetics and age too. You know, when I talk to Dorian, we both know that I'm not going to get all that much bigger because I'm 58 years old, but my muscles do look more mature when I'm not so flat. Right now I'm on a very, very low carb diet and I am flat as a board. So just be consistent and never be afraid to ask for help.